Ron Atkinson is a legend in the world of football. He's overseen more than 1,000 matches, won 2 FA Cups with Manchester United, and is the only manager in the past 25 years to guide a club outside the top flight into Europe as cup winners with Sheffield Wednesday. After retiring 7 years ago, Big Ron became one of the nation's favourite TV pundits. But in 2004, he suffered a spectacular fall from grace after making a racist remark about Chelsea's Marcel Desailly when he thought he was off air. Ron knows his comments were indefensible, but feels he's done his time.
Terry Venables said to me once, he said, "When are you going to stop apologising?" He said, "I'm fed up of hearing you apologise," and that's right. I prefer to be judged by people I've worked with, and that includes any number of black players.
2 years on, the game's most outspoken gaffer has a point to prove. He's got over 50 years' experience under his belt, but does he still have what it takes to succeed? To find out, Sky One have set up an experiment, unique in the football world, and cast Big Ron as a troubleshooter to see if he can help revive the flagging fortunes of a lower league club. This is a world light years away from the cash-rich Premiership. Forget 20 grand a week. Players at this level are lucky if they're on 20 grand a year. And crowds are rarely over 5,000. It's a far cry from Old Trafford. Ron's challenge is to tackle problems both on and off the pitch. You'll have to advise the manager.
Have your list of points that you're going to make. You'll say, right, I think you'll find, A, that'll be a big help for you, and I think it'll be a big help for the lads.
Yeah.
He'll analyse the team and their tactics.
I'll guarantee that his first reaction will be to go there.
And take a crash course in the financial horror story of lower league life today.
Some of the things you told me, I just can't believe, you know.
So will Big Ron be able to work his magic in this down-at-heel football world?
Every club wants success on the playing field. Certain things can get you that success. For me, all important, hard work, right from top to bottom. The players, the staff, the backup people, everybody's got to be of one mind, totally committed to the cause. Secondly, decisive management, strong management. And finally, boardroom backing. That's so important. They've got to be prepared to back you to the hilt and give every bit of support that they can.
Well, that's Ron's recipe for success. Sounds simple, doesn't it? So we got in touch with a number of lower league clubs to offer them Ron's services as troubleshooter. One of the first to take up the challenge was 2nd Division Peterborough United.
Hello, top man, it's Basil Brush. I hear you're back on the market again. I need your expertise. Help, help, help.
Peterborough owner Barry Fry has just parted company with his manager, former England defender Mark Wright, and handed the reins to his assistant, Steve Bleasdale, the former coach and number 2.
What's your problem? Go on, tell us your problem.
Well, I'm in the shit, mate, as usual. I've got a new manager, Steve Bleasdale. Great coach he is, but as you and I know, it's an entirely different game when you're a manager. It would be great to have you in here, you know, with your expertise on the football matters.
I'm pretty sure that we can do something. In fact, I'll turn the car around and get over there right away.
That'll do me. Top man.
So let's take a closer look at exactly what Ron's let himself in for. Peterborough, nicknamed the Posh, were relegated to League 2 last season, but are vying for immediate re-promotion. Off the pitch, they're fighting for survival. Barry Fry has invested more than £1 million of his own money to keep the club afloat.
But it has been a struggle for 2.25 years. It's a huge responsibility to pay everybody's wages every month, and touch wood, I've done it so far. My advice to anybody is don't buy a football club.
Steve Bleasdale's been given until the end of the season to prove himself as caretaker manager. Until now, he's never managed a league club, and as Ron will discover, he's a man who puts his heart and soul into his job.
Okay, now. Keep it, at it! Foul! Fucking foul! That was never a penalty, ref.
Yeah, that's having a fuck off, doesn't it? It's having a fuck off last point, go in there.
Fucking not a penalty though, was it?
But there's more to Steve than arresting Anglo-Saxon vocabulary. He's made a dream start in charge, winning 3 out of his first 4 games and edging into the playoff spots with 13 games left to play. So could it be that Ron's task isn't so tricky after all? Or is this good run just beginner's luck? Worryingly, their cash problems mean the Posh can only afford a small squad of players, and some of them aren't playing. Central defender Chris Plummer has been diagnosed with testicular cancer. First choice keeper Mark Tyler is out with a broken rib. And most pressing for Steve, having made the difficult step up from training ground coach to all-round club manager, he's now got to win the respect of the players who used to be his mates.
Put the same efforts in as me or fuck off! And I'm telling you, and that's not like me to lose my fucking temper, because up to now, I've been as nice as fucking pie.
So those are just some of the issues facing Big Ron. Now it's time to meet the people who make the club tick.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to introduce you all to Ron Atkinson. I've been very, very fortunate to know Ron over 30-odd years. He's not only got expertise in the football field, he's also got expertise off the football field. So I brought him in an effort to help Peterborough United Football Club. He's got my 100% authority to do things and change things if he wants to. Welcome, Ron. God bless you, pal.
What I'm basically coming to do is to try and help the club in every shape or form we can. Primarily to help Steve and his team, because that's basically where I'm coming from the football side of it. But there are other areas where over the years I've seen certain things happen. I've worked at lower levels and enjoyed it at lower levels when I was at Kettering and Cambridge. So I've got a fair idea of what, you know, you guys are having to put up with and having to work at. And I know money is...
non-existent.
I was going to say not plentiful, but I'll go along with that. Non-existent then. But hopefully we can start to make things happen.
It'd be silly for me, Steve Bleasdale, you know, 27 years of age, no, I'll tell a lie, 45, to not get experience of anyone. And if Ron's watching me and he says, Steve, you know, that was great, that, maybe, hey, could you add that to it? Then great, I'll use it. Providing I'm not eating me breakfast with Ron, eating me dinner and having me tea with him, that's fine. And I'm not going on the sunbeds with him, that'll do me. Sorry, Ron.
Ronnie's got the job till the end of the season. Unknown quantity, but I've been very, very impressed with him. He's got a wonderful opportunity now to start off his managerial career.
It's been a whole hobby horse of mine for years, and the fact that when somebody relatively inexperienced comes in, there's a wealth of experienced managers in this country that maybe they could tap into.
He wants to listen, he wants to learn, and from my point of view as owner of this football club, it's an absolutely ideal opportunity for you to come in here with your expertise and him to learn off you. It would be a great asset to us and might be that 5, 10, 15% more that gets us up.
An ex-manager with 31 years' experience, Barry Fry's now in the boardroom on a full-time basis. Ron knows if he can help his old friend win promotion, it'll be a massive step towards ensuring the club's future survival.
Promotion would mean so much to Peterborough. It would mean they bounce back after last season. There's slightly increased revenue from the television, of course, and other advertising possibilities. And, of course, you would get bigger gates.
We would sell more replica shirts, we'd sell more hats, we'd sell more scarves, we'd sell more mugs. So all that money would pay the wages for another month. You think, oh, another month out of the way. Last year we lost $1 million, that's 20 grand a week. We can't afford 20 grand a week.
It's Saturday. The team are on their way to Notts County, and a game they have to win if they're to keep up their promotion drive. It's Ron's first chance to see the Posh and their new boss in action.
What goes into the making of a good manager? Well, certainly he has to be clear in his instructions and his decision-making. That's very important. He's got to encourage an atmosphere of hard work and belief, and yet at the same time not inhibit the players. He's got to make sure that the players are all prepared to go out, enjoy the game, and play to their maximum, play to their full potential. And it's so important he gets the total respect of his players. After all, it's not a popularity contest.
Every game we go into, we are going to win.
Judging from this, Steve's an advocate of the rousing pre-match team talk.
3 on the run they've lost. You fucking won 3 out of 4. You're the team to beat.
Ron's first impressions from the stands are encouraging. He's immediately impressed with the way Peterborough passed the ball.
Now Carden, great ball Carden to Holden. Holden into the penalty area. Holden was caught as well as we the goal.
That's the best move we've had, mate. Your ball's luck.
Then a major breakthrough.
Do you know what? All we've got to do is fucking turn him. That's the one. Go on.
Good ball to Holden. Holden with a cross, little flick down from Quinn. It drops for Crow. Crow lashes it home.
Danny Crow. He's got 12 in 20. He's magic. Only 19.
Now that's against the run of play. But who fucking cares?
A second goal after the break puts Posh well in command.
Jamie Day, left side of the penalty area. Appeals for handball, not given. Now it's Peter Gain. Gain with a shot, and he's driven in for goal number 2. The shot from Gain. The keeper couldn't hold it, and there was James Quinn.
Good bit of football. We're all right when we play football.
Basti! Get in!
I hope they don't mean Alan Brazil.
No.
Keep it up.
Go on!
So the Posh are 2 goals to the good, but Bleasdale's touchline exuberance doesn't go down well with the home fans.
That was a bit strong, a prick. See it after the game, down here. Me and you.
Steve.
Bastard.
Interesting style, if a little direct. Despite conceding a late penalty, Peterborough hold on to win 2-1.
Hey, well done, mate. Got us luck.
Ron couldn't have hoped for a better start to his Peterborough adventure. It's now 4 wins from 5 games under rookie boss Steve, and they've strengthened their hold on a playoff spot. So what's Big Ron's verdict?
Excellent. Very good performance. Particularly impressed by the way they played. They played the quality of the passing was good. And it was a pleasant surprise to see the way they played. Okay, at the moment, fine. You know, they're in a good trot. They've won 4 out of 5, but you know, realistically, that won't continue. And maybe that is one of my experiences of the game might be helpful to the manager.
So the stage is set. After the break, Ron gets stuck in and meets the players.
Every football club I've ever been involved with, there's one guy in charge, that's the boss, the gaffer. And for my money, that's how he should be referred to.
But how will Steve react to having Big Ron on his patch? With so much at stake, tensions soon start to rise.
We are doing so well, I don't want any disruptions because he will sack me if I get 3 defeats on the run, and I don't want it.
After a 7-year absence, former Manchester United boss Ron Atkinson has returned to frontline football. Sky One has cast him as troubleshooter of cash-strapped, success-starved clubs at the bottom of the football pile. Peterborough United have asked him to mentor their rookie boss Steve Bleasdale. But in a world where the manager is meant to be all-powerful, how will this feisty example of the breed cope with outside intervention?
Fucking hell!
Fast got a ball!
Fucking referee loses this game, I'll fucking chin him.
Big Ron has already witnessed an impressive Peterborough victory over Notts County. Today, he makes his first trip to the training ground to meet Steve with his players.
Morning.
All right, Gaffer.
Morning, boss. No, I'm Ron. You're boss. You're the boss. Oh, yeah. You're the boss of all bosses.
Pleasantries dispensed with, Ron scrutinises Posh's training. They're preparing for this week's game against Bristol Rovers.
Well done. 4 balls. Play in, set, play out. Use the big area.
It's what I call a razz. It's a Friday morning razz. They don't be working hours. It's a cold morning. So basically, it's just getting a touch, feel on the ball.
Bristol watching, son!
Our troubleshooting specialist observes a full training session before reaching his initial diagnosis.
First impressions, he's bubbly, he's lively, he's enthusiastic. His session seemed organised, no complaints about it. The squad's not very big, can't afford any injuries. They've got a couple of key players missing. The first team goalkeeper's out with cracked ribs, and they could do with him back a bit quick. One of the things that surprised me watching them train was how the goalkeepers were very much left to their own devices. I think that's one of the things I might be recommending. They should be looking at getting somebody to take a specific interest in the goalkeepers, a specialist in that position. I think with Steve at the moment, I think because he's moved up from coach to manager, I think he wants to do virtually everything himself, and first impressions, he needs somebody with him. You know, otherwise you'll find he's going to be talking to senior players, and although there's a value in that, I think there's also a danger in that as well.
Ron decides it's time for his first man-to-man conversation with Steve Bleasdale.
Steve, 4 weeks into the job, how are you enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it very much so. It's been absolutely tremendous for me. I've done things slightly different from the past manager. I've got my own style, and I'm really enjoying it, and it's been absolutely brilliant.
How do you think the players have accepted your transition from coach to manager?
You are friendly with the lads, you know, and the lads kind of take the mickey and you like a bit of fun. But I've had to try and change that kind of fun side to a bit more serious, you know.
There has got to be a gulf, you know, being the manager. You've got to have that gulf. When I was non-league, they called me like Ron, or called me loads of stuff. But then as soon as I stepped into as a league manager, it was boss, gaffer, whatever. Yeah. And I always maintain that, you know.
Gaffer would be nice. If I'm ready to be called gaffer, then I'm gaffer, you know what I'm saying? But with 5 games, 4 wins, I've got to look at my next 3 or 4 games, and that will really key it down to them calling me that.
Peterborough may be poised in the playoff positions, but Saturday's opponents are hot on their heels. A win is crucial. And Steve is without promising young defender Sean St. Ledger, who's suspended. Enter Big Ron, and some potentially priceless insider knowledge.
The 2 kids you're going to play against, I had as youngsters. Junior Agogo and a kid Walker at the Villa, had him at the Villa, and they are a threat in the division, aren't they?
31 goals between them this season already, so we've got to make sure that we defend our box and defend our area well, you know. I mean, Sean St. Ledger's going to be a big miss for me, but Phil Bowen's quite capable of sweeping up behind, you know. If the boy Agogo does spin and he's good in the channels, I'll make sure that he's round, you know.
I think the keynote for Saturday, certainly against the 2 front players from your boys, is concentration.
Oh, tell you.
As Ron looks forward to his first chance to assess Peterborough on home turf, Steve impresses with his diligent attention to detail. Tactics are presented, nutrition is on hand. All that's left is for him to tap into the players' minds.
Do not rest on your laurels. The past 5 games have gone. This is for the taking. It could be a day where it's into Quinny all the time. We play off them, with bodies around them, and we fucking get at them. When ugly things happen, you are ugly yourselves, and you carry on being ugly till you win the game. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Let's go.
Bring out the gladiators.
Squeeze him! Squeeze him!
But despite the thorough preparations, the posh look a completely different side, the one that impressed Ron just a week ago.
Touch, touch, touch!
As Peterborough flounder, Ron's initial concerns prove all too valid. Firstly, the lack of specialist goalkeeper coaching comes home to roost. As stand-in goalie Lee Harrison fails to keep out a go-go shot.
Will it go in? Yes, it has. Harrison got an arm to the shot, but it's spooned up and it's finished up in the back of the net.
Fucking cannot give it away there. Press on! Press on! Get out!
With no assistant to help him, Ron's also worried how much the young manager is taking on by himself. And at half-time, Steve Bleasdale faces the first big test of his motivational skills.
That, for me, was the worst I've seen yet. The 48 minutes to come now is going to be the best that I've seen you. You've got to get switched on. It's about you, your character. Go fucking do it. It's up to us.
Come on.
Despite Steve's efforts in the dressing room, more suspect goalkeeping sees the Posh go 2 down shortly after the break.
Well, there's further punishment for Peterborough United, and it's Walker who's took the ball away beyond Harrison.
But it's their efforts at the other end which expose how stretched the squad is. With leading scorer Danny Crowe having a nightmare game, the only replacement available is Richard Logan, himself struggling for fitness. But to add to Steve's woes, he fails to make any kind of impact.
Gordon to jump over the ball, maybe. No, it's Kennedy who strikes it. Oh, tremendous shot and a great flying save.
The Posh do eventually get on the score sheet.
Newton past one defender, and then a goal from Holden, from the captain.
Just too late. It's just too late.
The owner is less than impressed by his side's surprising lack of appetite for the fight.
People spend hard-earned money. They don't mind if you try your what's-its off and you ain't good enough. We just hold our hands up and say, hey, we give it our best shot, we weren't good enough. We never tried from start to finish. We give up. We never broke sweat. We never done nothing. We was a disgrace.
Meanwhile, Ron tries to help Steve put his first major setback as manager into perspective.
In the last 7 days, you've had the two sides of management, haven't you? Terrific performance last week. Today, go on, disappointing, wasn't it?
I thought Bristol Rovers battled for their lives today, and you're spot on. We just weren't at the races.
Let's hope it's a one-off. Let's hope last week is nearer the norm than this week. I think next week's very much an exam of looking at one or two and seeing whether they are, in my opinion, and your opinion, I think, whether they're the boys that can take you the last yard.
Luckily, although Posh have lost ground to their close rivals Bristol Rovers, other results have gone their way, and they remain 6th. But for Steve, the honeymoon period as rookie boss is now officially over. And the harsh realities of the new job are hitting home.
It's been difficult with the transition from a coach. I've had to try and get the players on my side, you know, get a little bit of respect for you. Would have been a bit different if it had gone in at a new club and you'd have gaffed from day one. You're making decisions from day one. The players don't know you. You stamp your own authority on it. I want to be successful. I want to get forward in life because as a footballer, I didn't have a fantastic career, you know, and I've got them in the playoffs. And I've just done my best. I can't do no more.
It's Monday morning. The Bristol Rovers performance is still eating away at Barry Fry, and he can't resist wading into the post-mortem.
Right, lads, you don't often see me, and when you do, there's trouble. You've worked bloody hard all season to get yourselves in a playoff position. For fuck's sake, don't let it fucking go now. I want total focus on Peterborough United getting in the playoffs and being successful. I pay your wages. I expect you to give me and the gaffer 100% commitment. Fucking got it? Anybody got any questions? Fucking make it happen. All of us together, working for one goal. Fucking promotion. Good luck, chaps.
Apparently chastised, the players return to training. Troubleshooter Ron suspects the problem lies in the players' attitude to their new boss. Already he's noticed the players call him Bleo, not the traditional gaffer. Even worse, there are worrying signs of disrespect.
You said, yeah.
For some reason, you youngsters have got a lot to say to me, and let me tell you now, I'm the manager here, right? And whatever time I tell you to train, you train.
It's time to set the record straight and address the players directly for the first time.
OK, guys, every football club I've ever been involved with, be it as a player or a manager, there's one guy in charge, that's the boss, the gaffer. And for my money, that's how he should be referred to. And where's the skip? Everybody in the next fortnight that you hear calling the governor anything but boss or gaffer, they owe you a £5 for the drinks kitty. Is that full marks? And if I hear them saying it and you don't pull them, you owe it a tenner. So you've got to pull them on that, kid, OK? I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to helping you. I'm approachable. You can come and see me. But one thing I ain't the governor. He's the boss. He's the manager. I nearly said something else then, but it cost me a fiver and I can't afford that. OK? Thanks for your attention. Thanks, lads. Cheers, lads. People say what makes a manager. You know, I've said decision-making. You've got to be able to make decisions. That's fine. Knowing the game. If you don't know the game, you've got no chance of being a manager. Knowing what makes players tick, man management. You know, I think a lot of man management comes from experience. I really do. And I don't mean being in the game 25 years or anything like that. I mean, if he did something next week that didn't come off, and the same scenario arose next season, I'd like to think that he'd probably go, I'm not going to do that because I did that last year and it didn't come off. If you don't draw on your experience, then, you know, then you're wasting them.
Steve believes that the players need a reality check and decides to borrow an old Premiership manager trick. And he calls in a favour from a local business to help drill some sense into his unruly players.
I love coming in every morning. Do you? Do you? Do you? Because your attitude fucking stinks. And you should come in every morning and want a fucking graft and work and not moan. What's the matter? You go into a factory and you're going to watch 40 people work at machines doing the same thing for 12-hour shifts. And when we're there, I don't want no one saying, Bleo, what the fuck's this for? Because when Mourinho does it, it's fucking great.
As the players assemble for their eye-opening tour of duty, there are mixed feelings at what lies ahead.
Apparently we're better off than them, so I suppose it's a learning curve, and we've been told if it's good enough for Chelsea, then it's good enough for us.
We have to wear goggles in it, haven't we? Goggles, do you know what I mean? I got goggles if I want to go swimming. Could be me next season, so I've got to try and work hard, because to be fair, I don't really want to work in a factory, so it should knock some sense into me. I ain't got to wear one of big yellow helmets, though, is it? It's a fucking waste of time.
Steve's methods are a little unconventional for Big Ron's taste.
I can remember, I'm trying to think who it was. It might have been Alan Clark or somebody. When he was manager, I think it was Barnsley. Took the players down the mines and all that to show them, you know, how hard life was and how good a life football is. Providing it's not too long. The attention span of a footballer when it's something he's not particularly interested in isn't famously long.
Prophetic words. While the factory workers look on in bemusement, the players soon find ways to entertain themselves.
It's like the piece of cake experience, isn't it? Oh, it's going that way.
I can't believe she's looking for holiday hotels while she's working.
It's different. I've only ever been in football since I left school, so it's like a school day out.
Oi, what's he doing? Does anyone else want that? We've made what we can out of it, had a bit of banter, haven't we, boys? Yeah. So
it's been a bit of a laugh. Like, kind of bonded, our little group's kind of bonded and that.
Determined to reinforce the message of the factory visit, Steve ends the day by delivering an impassioned appeal for his players to unite in his cause.
Listen up, everyone. Well, just stop eating for 1 minute. Right. That company, if one little piece of that chain breaks, that company goes under, and it's like you lads for me. We've got to train well together, we eat well together, and in football clubs, people dislike each other. People don't like me, but when we train on that training field, we have that attitude and togetherness like that company today. It's up to us. We stick together and we go from strength to strength, all right? No moaning, let's get on with it.
While Steve's away with his players, Ron busies himself with Posh's problems on the pitch. After the goalkeeping gaffes against Bristol Rovers, he's reintroducing the expert keeper coaching, previously axed due to lack of funding. Tony Godden's 400-game career included spells at Chelsea, Birmingham City and Ron's famous West Brom side of the late 70s. His former boss thinks he's the answer to Posh's problems.
TG? I'm all right, my son. Listen, just to let you know, everything's in place. We've sorted everything out in the club, so, you know, I've got you on board from now till the end of the season. Is that OK with you?
That's brilliant, mate. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Top man, and not only that, I want you there tomorrow.
The next day, and as Big Ron dusts off his old training gear, it's obvious he means business. As the rest of the players arrive for their morning session, Tony Godden is already hard at work with the keepers.
Good. Make sure you come off that cone. Go in square to it.
I've never been a massive fan of having a defensive coach, an attacking coach, a right-wing coach, a left-wing coach, but goalkeeping is a specialised position.
Goalkeeping coach is keeping him fit, getting him technically right, and being his dad. You've got to get to know him as a person, and that way you can keep him positive. I'm just looking at them, to be fair, today. I'm giving them short bits and pieces of different things so that I can have a look and see what I feel they need to get better on, or, you know, because they haven't had a goalkeeping coach for over 2 years, over 2 seasons.
It's easy to do a routine, and we say, oh, well done, but obviously Tone can pick out that little thing that maybe give us that extra % in the game.
They need somebody that's been in the same situation as them, that knows what they're thinking, and that they can relate to. I mean, very often outfield players look at a goal and say, why don't you save that, you idiot? Whereas a goalkeeping coach will say, well, you might have saved it if you'd done that, or don't worry, you couldn't have saved that.
Satisfied the keepers are at last in safe hands, Ron can't resist flexing those managerial muscles with the outfield players.
Take your touch. Quality. Come on, take him under the ball. Take him under. That's good. Go on. I'd make him play one touch all the while.
Stop! Pasty, listen, as soon as it's finished in there, get yourself back into your slot and go right back in.
Is he a better left winger?
He's bollocks. Pasty. Yeah.
That second thing, when you're the second striker, go out of the centre half from vision.
Well, they're listening, but it's clear Steve's unease is growing at Ron's increasingly hands-on approach.
Stop grabbing the net off, Ron!
Did you think?
But Ron's on a roll.
Tell me something, you know, for like a home game, you presumably come up, 1:45 or something like that?
Half one.
Half one.
What, you thinking meal and all that and meet
early?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the top teams do, isn't it?
But, I mean, some have different ways. Come in, boss. Just some have different ways of it.
What's
that? We're just talking about pre-match, like for a home game. We're just saying, oh, boys, do they prefer, like, to maybe come together early and have a pre-match meal and whatever?
While he may have got the attention of the players and is making progress, Steve sees it as unacceptable interference and decides to confront his new mentor.
Ron, could you have a chat, mate?
What I just saw is basically saying, kind of, why don't you do this, or have you tried this, or are you doing this? I don't know the agenda here, Ron. I don't know what it is, because is it me or what?
I've been brought in with the blessing of your directors and your whatever, in a view to trying to help the football club.
Let's get something straight here. I'm manager of this football club, and I've had 4 wins out of 5.
No, you're not.
4 wins out of 6 now.
Yeah. Let me tell you now, I will never talk to any football player about anything that I won't talk to you about. And just to re-qualify, I don't want to be a manager of Peterborough United Football Club.
I'm not saying that, Ron.
I mean, I'll be quite honest with you, I wouldn't have thought it was that...
no, there's no problem.
I actually think you're being very, very... I'll say sensitive. I'm almost going to say insecure. We're only here for your benefit. We're here to make a good programme. We're here to tell it as it is. But it's no good me just standing there. That's of no value to Peterborough Football Club if I just stand and watch.
It's on camera now, isn't it? I'm talking to Ron. I want to speak to Ron personally.
After a promising start to their budding partnership, it seems Ron has lost the manager's trust. Still fuming, Steve now revokes an earlier agreement, allowing Ron access to the dressing room on match days.
Disappointed because that was part of the agreement that we had, but, you know, I'm not going to make an issue over it this time. They've got a match to play. And I think what we'll do, we'll get the match over with, and then
We'll talk it over with all the relevant parties, but I'll let it ride. I'll let it ride for today.
Hang on, let me finish. Ron then said, listen, lads...
Coming up, it turns out that Ron and Steve's dressing room showdown was just a taste of the fireworks yet to come.
Me being in the dressing room won't win you a game or won't lose you a game.
No, you players with them and
It's your players. If there's antagonism from you, I don't want to be in there.
And will the Posh continue their slide on the pitch, or can they bounce back to winning ways? Big Ron Atkinson's experimental role as Peterborough United's football troubleshooter has hit its first major hitch. Following their bust-up at the training ground, manager Steve Bleasdale wants to exclude Ron from the dressing room on match days. When Ron arrives at Peterborough's ground for their game against Stockport County, he makes a beeline for the office of club owner Barry Fry.
We have a problem. We have a slight problem.
Shut the door.
One of the things I'd like to have done was spend some time in the dressing room before the match.
Yeah, no problem. You told me that from day one.
Just a minute now. That has raised an issue. It's raised a slight issue. With a little incident, not an incident, Thursday morning in training, I was watching the training. Had a little chat with 2 or 3 of the players, and then all of a sudden there seemed to be, the manager seemed to be a bit upset, even to the extent of saying if Ron Atkinson's in the dressing room on Saturday, I'm walking out.
Well, he can walk out, because that's not my conversation with him at all. I said that you were allowed in the dressing room before, during and after the game.
Okay.
That was what I'd done with you. That's what I've told him, that's what I've told all the players.
And
I will go in and tell him that now.
You don't have to say
I've told him that twice.
We are not doing anything before a game. We've got a football match to win.
Yeah.
Let's get the football match won.
Here.
And let's sit down in the cold light of day with a pot of tea and say, look, that's where we come from. So long as you're aware of that, and so long as let's just keep you within the confines.
While Ron and Barry plot a resolution to the dressing room dilemma, Steve's still determined to be the master of his own domain. But after their woeful performance against Bristol Rovers, he knows it's crucial he gets the full backing of his team.
Sit down, everyone. Doesn't matter who you are, subs, whatever. First thing, I know, deep within here, you've got togetherness. This is where we bounce back. I'm confident. If you're confident, you will absolutely take these to the fucking cleaners. Match the battle. Roll your sleeves up first.
With kick-off looming, Ron has high hopes for his goalkeeping recruit, Tony Godden, who's giving some last-minute advice to Mark Tyler, returning from injury today.
It's the home side who get things started there.
That's a great ball, that. Great ball, son.
As the game gets underway, there's palpable tension between Ron and Steve. Luckily, this hasn't translated to the players.
Absolutely, it's a million times brighter than last week anyway, isn't it? It's a good ball, son. Good ball,
Go on, son!
Here's St Ledger. Oh, just a whisker wide of Spencer's goal. Sean St Ledger, so close for Peterborough.
Okay, that's it.
Soon the investment in Tony Godden's coaching pays dividends. Mark Tyler shows sharp reactions to deny the opposition.
Liam Dickinson and Mark Tyler's down to smother. Really smart save.
With the keeper inspiring confidence, the team's entire rear guard is looking rock solid. But the spark's still missing at the other end as they struggle to break down the leakiest defence in the league.
On quality.
Oh, pretty! He's in!
Here's Danny Crowe, a real chance here for Crowe, lofts the ball goalwards but over.
So he is having one.
Danny Crowe with a real chance for Peterborough, not taken.
In the second half, the Posh's dominance finally pays off as captain Dean Holden makes the all-important breakthrough.
Here's Peter Gain. It's Gain's ball in towards the captain, Dean Holden, and Posh have finally broken through. The skipper with the goal, Posh ahead.
Steve also gives notice of his tactical nous. He brings on attacker Ryan Semple and sees an immediate return.
Simpson behind.
Go on, see him in there, work him, you can win the game.
Semple strong, away from Williams, Ryan Semple, a second goal for Peterborough. That's the point safe now. Ryan Semple doubles the money. That is a massive, massive 3 points for Peterborough United.
Better games you want to win, really. just important to get the 3 points today. Sem's come on and produced a wonder goal and give us a bit of a cushion, and everyone's buzzing after the game because, you know, as I say, another 3 points gives us that extra bit to go on for promotion.
I thought tactically we were great today. It was a hard game. In fact, I thought that was hard in the Bristol Rovers. Honestly, I did. I just thought we played very well today.
Okay, Steve. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So Posh earn 3 more precious points and pick up their first clean sheet in 5 games.
Big plus for them today. I thought Mark Tyler looked strong, assertive. You could see a confidence in him. Seeing the advent of sort of Tony Godden come on board, he's just come back after 3 or 4 weeks injury. Even if he just squeezed that last little 2 or 3% out of the custodian, then, you know, that might be the difference between winning and losing, getting promotion and not getting promotion.
The victory keeps Peterborough in 6th place and means they even keep alive their outside hopes of automatic promotion. It's the following week, and it seems Ron's input has started to bear fruit. But if the big Ron manager experiment is going to succeed, manager Steve Bleasdale is going to have to accept our troubleshooter's active involvement. And that includes being in the dressing room. Ron steels himself for another potential shouting match, but it looks like his fears may be premature. Mainly because Steve's forthright coaching style has knackered a key weapon in his armoury, his voice.
Success for this football club is just to survive. And that's where you come in, Ron. So what's the problem?
Steve doesn't want me in the dressing room before matches.
Players will get confused with 2 voices.
They won't need 2 voices.
If Ron,
No, you won't need 2 voices.
If Ron says...
I've just said to you, I'm in there just to say 1 voice.
If Ron says he won't get involved, Ron's been a manager for a long time, and I know it's in your blood.
I think you've been very, very insecure about it. I told you that last week.
We are doing well. We are doing so well. I don't want any disruption because he will sack me if I get 3 defeats on the run, and I don't want it.
Me being in the dressing room won't win you a game or won't lose you a game.
No, your players will and your
organisation. If there's antagonism from you, I don't want to be in there.
There won't be antagonism.
No, there will, Steve.
No, because I think it's been great. The lads have come out, wish them all the best on the pitch.
Steve, there will be antagonism, but what I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to hang about corridors like a lollipop.
My domain is the dressing room. I think, Ron, there'd be too many voices.
What about if one's not saying anything?
Who?
Me.
I disagree with it, so what are we going to do?
I am coming here to nothing else, and I think you'd have to say that should have been backed up by 3 or 4 weeks we've been together, to nothing else but to help you.
OK, I'll tell you what, do what you want then. Do it. Fine.
What would be wrong in me coming in the dressing room at 1:45 and listening to your briefing?
Yeah.
And then going out the dressing room and not coming back?
That'll do me.
So, they finally managed to reach a compromise, except Steve still doesn't seem all that convinced.
For me, it ain't about the cameras, it ain't about Ron, it ain't about it's for Barry Fry and me. I'm the manager. Any manager will tell you that they don't need all this, and I certainly don't need it. I just find the whole thing hard to deal with.
Hopefully Ron can allay Steve's fears so the young boss trusts and learns from him. Next time on Big Ron Manager, will the Posh blow their promotion hopes by repeatedly choking against bottom-of-the-table sides?
Fucking now! Is he? I'm quicker than him. Fucking hate these games, bottom of the leagues.
When you're beaten by sheer effort, it pisses you off big time.
When it's a battle, you fucking battle!
Calm down!
And as things reach boiling point on match day, can Ron win the battle off the pitch as he tries to rescue Posh's finances?
I'm running out of money, I'm running out of time, I'm running out of ideas. I'm fucked, mate.
Next tonight on Sky One.
Have a nice day, kids.
I want to bite you. It's Weeds.